Hello everyone, Paul Elam here with another message from A Voice for Men. And today I'm talking just to my brothers and sisters in the men's rights movement. And though I tried several times to get this down in a 10-minute limit, I couldn't do it, so this will be in two parts, three actually counting the follow-up. And by the way, while I usually tolerate a reasonable amount of feminist wailing in my comment area, this will be the exception. Comments are welcome from MRAs only. Feminists and manginas will be cheerfully deleted and blocked so you can save your screeching for my other videos. And don't you worry, they will be coming for a long time. This series of talks is on defeating feminism. You know, it might appear that men's equality sits on a mountaintop too high to reach in our lifetime. Feminist hegemony seems to reign like the Catholic Church in the age of Copernicus. Academics, government, media, and the judicial system look like little more than an extension of feminist dogma. The workplace and even the social strata appear to have become feminist property. For a number of years, average men have been acting as though they lived in 1936 Berlin or 1970 Moscow, measuring their words carefully and casting a quick, vigilant glance over their shoulders before speaking their minds. Others extol the virtues of feminism with sincerity that could only be properly expressed with help from a straw hat, a cane, and some vaudeville piano. And some men are the real deal, born-again believers in feminism dancing through the socio-political morass like Hare Krishnas in an airport, complete with dirty faces and donation baskets. Meanwhile, many men's rights activists genuinely passionate about the cause work under assumed names because of the very real danger of personal and professional retaliation if they're discovered. It's a sad statement to the reality that the thought police are not just imagined characters in some novelist's dystopian fantasies. Men who mix the truth with their true identities can be hurt and have been. But there is trouble brewing for the feminist, not just annoyances from the cacophony of uppity MRAs that plague their online comment threads, but real trouble of the catastrophic variety. In fact, feminism as we know it is going to unravel sooner than you might think. The first great wave of masculism is on its way. It isn't a revolutionary tsunami, but it is happening fast, like floodwaters rising with deceptive speed and force. And in the end, it will drown the feminist orthodoxy before they even notice the waterline is over their nostrils. If you think this is wishful thinking, keep listening. MRAs are already influencing and shaping a new zeitgeist. The evidence of that is clear and measurable and is already changing the collective consciousness of the Western world. In little more than the past year, we have witnessed events in the men's rights movement that range from relatively impressive to significant to groundbreaking. There were two major court decisions in California and West Virginia that were very real judicial cuts at the corrupt feminist-controlled domestic violence industry. Very recently, the European Court of Human Rights dealt a severe blow to the anti-father laws in Germany. In the last year, we witnessed fathers' rights protests in the presumably unlikely country of Mexico and the emergence of the movement in India. Men in Missouri recently won the right to use paternity testing in child support cases. And as I just reported on Men's News Daily, the On Step Institute issued a press release announcing a convention on creating men's studies programs at the university level. This is not just more of what we have seen in the past in men's studies, which amounted to nothing more than a women's studies program dressed up with a fake beard and a pair of plastic pin-on cojones. It's an effort that will ultimately produce a tectonic shift in the academic landscape with lasting positive effects for men in Western culture. All these things have one wondering what precisely has happened in recent times to spark such a flurry of events, seemingly unrelated, yet all bound to the common theme of positive changes on behalf of men. Why, after decades of trying, are things finally starting to happen, and why so fast? You know, the answer isn't all that complicated. The idea of speaking up for men is finally gaining acceptance. And that acceptance is all the culture ever needed to effect positive changes, the first of which was unclenching the vitriolic stranglehold that feminism had taken on our common sense. Feminists are no longer the untouchables of Western politics. And once that reality spreads some more, and it certainly will, the proverbial gig will be up. For this, it is easy to credit people like Warren Farrell and Christina Hoff Sommers, Kathleen Parker and Stephen Baskerville, or the handful of others published and well known within the men's rights community, and no doubt they have all done much good. But there is something else afoot here, something even more powerful. It is rooted in the collective consciousness of the society we live in, and it is much more dynamic than any given handful of writers or activists. 40 years ago, feminists steamrolled their way into the limelight of our attentions. Riding on the coattails of the civil rights movement, they forced, with less than legitimate agenda, a pendulum swing and momentum that literally pushed it out of sight. It moved so far away so fast that it appeared primacy in the gender dialogue belonged to feminists, and always would. Well, that pendulum is swinging back. Recently, a fellow MRA, men are angry now by the way, pointed me to some very interesting statistics regarding the internet and gender activism. And what they reflect is that MRAs are taking over the online world. Fact is, we already have. And in the next part, I'm going to be telling you a lot more about that. Stay tuned.